Grand Rising to everybody. How are you enjoying your Thursday? So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about spiritual work. Now, I know that we're in a time where a lot of people are now coming into the metaphysical arts. They're starting to leave mainstream religion and they're starting to explore spirituality and magic and the occult. And I'm all for it. I'm actually very happy that this age has come into fruition, which is the age of Aquarius. But just like there's always good things that come in, there's always a balance, right? For every positive thing, the law of duality says that there are some negatives that come along with it. And some of the negatives that I have been seeing as I have been on my spiritual journey and evolving, and I meet people and I talk with people on different levels, not just on a professional level dealing with clients, but also engaging and meeting people who are in their own practices. One of the fundamental things that I see that concerns me is the lack of devotion and the lack of taking this as dealing with this as a science and studying it. Now, let me just say this. Whatever you do out here in the world or in these spiritual streets, you are accountable for what you do and also for what you don't do, okay? Because some of the problems is what people aren't doing, and some of the issue is what people are doing, okay, on both ends. So let me elaborate. So one of the things that I have noticed and I have had people come to me is sometimes the people aren't vetting their sources properly. Like before you decide to work with a practitioner, before you decide to study under a teacher or a guide, or even following somebody's YouTube page or, other social media platforms where they disseminate information, you need to vet that person. You need to vet whether or not you're receiving accurate information. You need to vet that person to know whether or not they have integrity and if their heart is right and what their intentions are. So I'm running into a lot of people who are meeting people on social media, hiring them to do spell work for them, hiring them to do readings for them. And they're getting some really bad information, okay? They're getting readings that are people just telling them what they want to hear, which is, I do not do that. And in this path, and being a spiritual guide, a teacher, and someone who channels spirit, we have an obligation to spirit, to maintain our integrity, and to be truthful in our readings, even when it's not what the client wants to hear. And believe me, I have been doing readings for people for over 20 years, okay? And I've done a lot of readings. And I've dealt with people on different levels. And sometimes, yes, what you have to tell that person may not be what they want to hear. It may make you uncomfortable, okay? I've been there. But my integrity and me always wanting to be coming from a place of truth, I have to give them the truth. Now, like they say, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm going to be honest. My delivery may not be sugar-coated at times. And sometimes I'm going to be honest with you. People don't need the sugar-coated truth. Because when you do that, sometimes it gets diluted, okay? And some people need it straight with no chaser, okay? And that's how I give it. Sometimes I'm a little more gentle with people if I can sense that their mental and emotional state can't tolerate me with no chaser. Because believe me, if you've met a Sagittarius, and I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, we can be very unfiltered, okay? And that is something that I have learned over the years to gauge how I should deliver the message. But the message doesn't change. The truth doesn't change, okay? Please, just because a person sounds good and they're looking good, they're playing the role real good, they've got all the accoutrements, they have all of the bells and whistles, and their delivery and their execution looks very professional. Sometimes those people are like quacks, okay? Those people sometimes have put all their energy their time and their emphasis in looking like they know what they're doing, and really underneath the surface really don't know what they're doing and don't have good intentions. And it can be very detrimental to the client to receive erroneous readings with information that's not true, because people make decisions, important decisions for their life. And potentially, if they have children or other people that depend on them, make decisions that can influence and affect other people. And if they're not being given accurate information, if they're being pandered to and told what they want to hear because they want that client to keep coming back to them and keep spending money with them, sometimes I've told people the truth, knowing that when I give them this truth, they're not going to want to work with me. They're probably not going to come back and get a reading. And that's fine, because I feel like the universe is always going to bring people to me that need what I have to offer. And all I have to do is stand in truth and deliver the message and do the work from a place of integrity and a place of love and respect and devotion. And I've never been without the need, or been without clients that need my services or my support. So I don't cater to my clients. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to give you, and I'm going to channel what spirit, your guides, your ancestors, and what the universe needs you to know. Whether you're ready for that or not, whether you want to hear that or not. I've also seen where people have been, again, getting readings and information and teachings from people, and they're giving them faulty information, okay? You are responsible and accountable for what you do spiritually. And it's important that you take that seriously. I have run across people, and someone in particular, who did a lot of things spiritually in their youth that was very irresponsible. Did a lot of things that has been very detrimental to their mental, emotional, and spiritual state. And listening to these unqualified readers, these actors who are on social media acting, telling you that, oh, you can just say a prayer and get rid of all of the things you did in the past. No, my dear. That is highly inaccurate, okay? You cannot undo magic that you have done in the past, spiritual work that you've done in the past, with a simple prayer. Once a spell has been cast, once a ritual has been done, once an act has been completed, you can't stop that. You can't come later in the future and say, well, you know what? I realized I fucked up back then. So let me just do this one little quick prayer. Let me just light this one candle. And all of the fucked up shit that I did in the past, and all of the irresponsible things that I did in the past, and all of the demons that I summoned, dark work that I did, oh, it's just going to be broken. That, it don't work that way, okay? So please, please, please take magic, spirituality, the occult, and metaphysics seriously, okay? Before you go out here trying to do doom spells on people, trying to do death spells on people, trying to do dark work and binding yourself and calling on entities and energies that you don't understand. Take the time to study. Take the time to learn. Take the time to ask whether or not you're justified in the work that you're about to do. And if you're not sure, don't do it. People are living consequences right now from things that they did in the past spiritually that could have altered the direction that their life was supposed to take. And you have to sometimes live out these effects. Sometimes what you have done has been so damaging that a spiritual practitioner cannot fix it, or will take years of spiritual work and remediation to get that person back on track, to get that person to clear them of whatever spirits and entities and things that they have done. Don't go out here joining cults and covens, doing binding rituals and ceremonies, attaching yourself to people that you don't know, people that you haven't vetted, okay? I'm telling you, it seems fun and it seems harmless, but then there you are 2-3 years down the road and your life is shit and you can't seem to figure it out and nothing that you do is working. Okay, there are some really unscrupulous people out here. There are people who have bad intentions. There are people out here who just don't give a fuck and don't have integrity and really don't care what happens to you after you leave them. They want your money. They want your time. Sometimes they want your energy and your soul. Okay? I'm having this conversation with y'all because I've been seeing a pattern in some of these new occultists where they're not taking this seriously and they're just doing things without thinking things through and without being righteous in what it is that they're doing. Another thing that I've noticed, and I'm going to keep this brief because I don't want to make this video too long, is that in order to be successful on this path, you have to be devoted to it. You have to be devoted. If you're not going to be devoted to the path, to the deities, to the spirits that you're working with, it's best that you don't even practice. It's best that you don't even start. Okay? Because if you're not going to approach it with, first of all, respect and reverence and be devoted and make it a lifestyle, I've seen people getting themselves into a lot of trouble. And like I said, some of these people have come to me and their life is in a shambles. And they want somebody to quickly wave a magic wand and fix everything. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of these people have put themselves into situations and in such detriment. And I don't like to not have hope. But some of these people are never in this lifetime going to repair what they have done. Some people have done things that it's going to reverberate into their next lifetime. They're still going to be dealing with consequences from their actions in this one. So be mindful of that. This is why I feel like Spirit has been asking me to teach again. Because when I teach, I go deep. This is why I make the apprenticeship program 12 months. Because a lot of you just want to quickly learn something and then start doing. And this is a science, y'all. You can really fuck yourself up or fuck somebody else up out here. And just because you don't see the consequences right away doesn't mean that they aren't coming. And sometimes what you do not only affects you, but those consequences are visited upon your children and future descendants. In Ifa, there is a saying that the evil that you do is visited upon the heads of your children. So some of you have even scarred and brought karma upon your children, maybe even curses, based on the erroneous, unjust things that have been done, that you have done and participated in this lifetime. So please take this path seriously before you start summoning demons and doing all this dark work and doing things from a place of wanting vengeance and a broken place, a traumatized place. Make sure that you're writing what you're doing. Make sure that you vet your teachers and that your teacher is doing this from a place of love and integrity. Make sure that person is qualified. Some of these people that are teaching just started on their magical practices 2-3 years ago, and now they out here teaching people and doing work for people. Okay? I have been practicing magic for over 24 years. And I've been taking clients. Even before I had a business, I was doing work for people. But I've had my business 11 years in October. So yes, Spirit, and I know I'm qualified to do what it is that I'm doing. I have the experience, not just reading books, not just listening to other people's lectures and teachers and things. I have quantifiable, actual experience, because the best knowledge comes from experience. Experience is the best teacher, okay? And some of the things that I have experienced, you get to benefit from that so that you don't make the same mistakes, so that you are better prepared. So please, you guys, before you even take my class, if you don't know who I am, if you're not familiar with my teachings, if you're new to my channel, if you're new to working with me, take out the time to ask your guides, ask your ancestors. This is what I would do. Many times I've had people come and try to initiate me into different things, whether it's been into different ATRs or to start covens and things. And I will always go to my ancestors first and pray to them and ask them, is this right? Go to your Ori. Is this my path? Is this person is right? And many, 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 many times, this is why I stay solitary. Spirit told me, no, this person isn't right. These teachings aren't right for you. This situation isn't right for you. So even with me, ask your guides, ask your ancestors, and ask them to give you a sign. Is this person qualified? And even if the person is qualified, sometimes that teacher is just not meant for you. Okay? What they have to offer isn't on your frequency and doesn't add to what it is that you're doing. All right, y'all. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it sweet. Enjoy your Thursday. Peace.